Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, convicted rapist Kuldeep Singh Sengar's life sentence for raping a 17-year-old girl has been suspended. The former BJP MLA has been granted conditional bail, which is that he won't come within 5-kilometer radius of the victim's residence and that he won't threaten the survivor or the mother. If these conditions are violated, his bail will automatically be cancelled. The survivor, whose father died in judicial custody, a case in which Sengar is convicted too, someone who lost their 2 aunts in an alleged attempt to kill the family, who survived multiple threats and attempt to kill, today once again fears for life. She says that the verdict is like Kal or death. She now plans to move the Supreme Court against the High Court's order.
मैं उस जजमेंट को सुन के मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ है और मुझे बहुत हुआ कि मैं अपना सुसाइड कर लूं, लेकिन मेरे 2 मासूम तो छोटे बच्चे हैं, मेरा पति है, मेरा परिवार है, मेरे 5 किलोमीटर के दूर कराएंगे। उनके आदमी तो दूर नहीं है, उनके आदमी तो मार देंगे आके।
सर उनकी कैंसिल की जाए, बेल खारिज की जाए, हमको उसी में न्याय मिलेगी, नहीं तो हमको न्याय नहीं मिलेगा। हम लोग सेव नहीं है जब तक का ये अंदर नहीं जाएगा। जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे हमको न्याय मिलेगी।
उन्होंने मेरे बड़े पापा को मारा था, फिर मेरे पापा को मारा, फिर मेरी बहन के साथ ये कांड हुआ। वो बाहर तो आ गए हैं, लेकिन हम लोगों के ऊपर खतरा मंडरा रहा है। वो अभी क्या पता बाहर आने के बाद हम लोगों को, मेरे पूरे परिवार को खत्म कर दे।
The family took to the streets of Delhi in protest. When the survivor and her family gathered at India Gate yesterday, they were removed by cops, citing law and order concerns. Today as well, cops blocked them when they tried to protest in central Delhi, with the mother of the victim alleging that they were dragged like prisoners. To make matters worse, the likes of UP Minister O.P. Rajbhar added insult to injury, asking what the need for the victim's family was to protest in Delhi. The opposition's up in arms against this ruling, and the victim also met Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition, at 10 Janpat. Congress and Samajwadi Party leaders are blaming the BJP, claiming a political shield in the case. They even injected a caste angle, saying Chief Minister Yogi is trying to save a leader from his own caste.
बिल्कुल बेटर है, आर्गुमेंट ठीक से पेश नहीं किया है और योगी जी ने अपनी बिरादरी, अपनी जाति को प्रोटेक्ट करने का काम किया है।
बीजेपी के आरएसएस के फूफा मामा लोग बहुत जगह बैठे हैं। ये फूफा होंगे, कोई उनके रिश्तेदार होंगे जो उन्होंने उनको सब कुछ कर दिया। अब सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये है कि चाहे वो मीडिया हो या और भी जिम्मेदार लोग हों, वो इस मैटर को कितना हाईलाइट करते हैं। क्या रेपिस्टों को उनकी सजा, हत्यारों को उनकी सजा कोर्ट के द्वारा माफ होने पे कोई ट्रायल चलेगा?
Process cannot stop. The process will happen irrespective who is before the process. The outcome, it can be challenged. There are other legal things. That is the right of the people who are part of it. But you certainly can't politicize the working of the court and the decision of the court.
देखिए, कोर्ट ने इस बात को कहा है कि सेंगर जी पीड़ित परिवार से 5 किलोमीटर दूर रहेंगे, ऐसा कोर्ट का निर्देश है। तो दिल्ली में धरना देने से पुलिस ने जब उनको कहा कि अब कोर्ट ने जब इस तरह की व्यवस्था दिया है, तो आप असुरक्षित कहाँ हैं?
Joining us now is the Unnao survivor. हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सबसे पहला सवाल, जब आपको पता चला कि कुलदीप सिंह सेंगर का आजीवन कारावास सस्पेंड कर दिया गया है, आपके मन में सबसे पहले क्या ख्याल आया था और इस समय आपका परिवार किस दौर से गुजर रहा है?
मैं इस जजमेंट से बहुत दुख में हूँ और मुझे आत्म है मैं सुसाइड कर लूँ। कोर्ट में लगा, मैं 23 तारीख को जजमेंट सुना, क्योंकि जो भी फैसला हुआ देश का, ये पहला फैसला है जो रेप के आरोपी को उम्र कैद की सजा होने के बावजूद भी उनको सजा रोकते हुए जमानत दे दी गई है। और 30 जारी कोर्ट में जज साहब ने सजा सुनाई, उन्होंने सारे चीजों को देखते हुए सजा सुनाई। क्या वो जज साहब अनपढ़ थे? वो भी पढ़े लिखे थे। हाई कोर्ट के जज ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज से ऊपर है, ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज से ऊपर नहीं है, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट का उल्लंघन करके हाई कोर्ट ने जमानत, हाई कोर्ट के जज साहब ने जमानत दे दी है। मेरे पिता को मारा गया, मेरे चाचा की बेल खारिज की गई, मेरे पिता को मार दिया गया, मेरे परिवार की, मेरे पैरोकारों की, जो मेरी पैरवी करते हैं जयवंतियों, सबकी सुरक्षा हटा दी गई। जो सीबीआई के अहम गवाह वीरेंद्र यादव, वो भी न्यूज से हैं, उनकी सुरक्षा हटाई जाती है। उसके दूसरे दिन गैंगस्टर का केस लगा के उनको जेल भेज दिया जाता है। 50 दिन जेल में बंदा उन्नाव जेल में रहता है। पुलिस प्रशासन टॉर्चर करती है, करंट लगाती है, ऐसे बर्ताव करती है। और फिर उसके बाद बहुत सारे मुकदमा कुलदीप सिंह सेंगर तिहाड़ जेल से ही लगवाते, अपने गांव के वकील अवधेश सिंह से, कि इनके पैरोकारों को, इनके जयवंतियों को टॉर्चर करो ताकि बयान पलटे और गवाही वापस करें, गवाही हमारे अगेंस्ट देंगे, तभी ये लोग बचेंगे, नहीं तो इनको सबको खत्म कर दो, केस के अकॉर्डिंग खत्म कर दिया जाए, क्योंकि अपनी सरकार है और अपनी ताकत है।
आप जब इंडिया गेट पे प्रोटेस्ट करने गए थे अपने माताजी के साथ, तब आपको डिटेन किया गया था। दिल्ली पुलिस ने आपके साथ कैसा व्यवहार किया, कुछ बताना चाहेंगे?
पुलिस ने हमें उठा के गाड़ी में फेंक दिया, योग्यता मैम जी को भी गाड़ी में उठा के फेंक दिया। इंडिया गेट में धरना प्रदर्शन नहीं करने दिया। इंडिया गेट में बोले अलाउ नहीं है। क्या देश में रेप करना अलाउ है? क्या देश में बहन बेटियों को मार देना अलाउ है? मैं जनता से, मैं कोर्ट से, मैं सरकार से यही पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि क्या ऐसा करना अलाउ है? ऐसे रेप के आरोपियों को अगर बेल दे दी जाएगी तो देश की सारी बेटियां असुरक्षित हो जाएंगी। उन्हें न्याय की लड़ाई से बिल्कुल वो टूट जाएंगी, उनकी हिम्मत ही हार जाएगी कि आज मेरे साथ रेप होगा, कल 5 साल बाद वो बाहर आ जाएंगे। तो ये चीज हमारे साथ में हुआ है। और
ऐसा भी सुनने में आया है कि आपके परिवार के लिए जो सिक्योरिटी तैनात की गई थी वो वापस ले ली गई है, क्या ये सही है?
फैमिली की सिक्योरिटी हटा दी गई, हमारी नहीं हटाई गई है। अब बट कुलदीप सिंह सेंगर को ये कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया है, मैंने सुना है कि उनके ऊपर दया करते हुए ऑर्डर किया है। एक रेप के आरोपी पे दया करते हुए ऑर्डर जजमेंट जमानत दे दी। एक रेप विक्टिम जिसके साथ रेप हुआ, जिसके पिता को मार दिया गया, जिसका एक्सीडेंट करा दिया, पूरे शरीर में चोट आई है, 250 टाके लगे हुए हैं, मेरे हाथ पैर में रोड पड़ी है, मेरी लाइफ का क्या होगा?
आपने ये भी कहा है कि सेंगर के कुछ आदमी हैं जो आपके घर के आसपास घूमते हैं और आपको धमकी दे रहे हैं, क्या आप उनको आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं? आपको कैसी धमकियां मिल रही हैं?
हमें धमकियां भी मिलती हैं, आसपास घूमते हैं, पता करते हैं कहाँ रहती हैं, कहाँ नहीं रहती हैं, लेकिन उन्हें सब पता है कि हम कहाँ रहते हैं, कहाँ नहीं रहते। 5 किलोमीटर पे दूर पे रहेंगे, हमें तो जज साहब ने कैद कर दिया 5 किलोमीटर की दूरी पे रहने पे। भाई वो रहेंगे, लेकिन उनके सहयोगी, उनके समर्थक तो नहीं रहेंगे।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us today for more on this are our guests, Lalita Kumarabangaram, former chairperson of the NCW, the National Commission for Women. We have Dr. Ranjana Kumari, social activist and director of the Center for Social Research. With us is Ashwini Kumar Mishra, who's the leader of the Congress Party. Raman Malik, political analyst who leans towards the BJP, also is with us. We have Barkha Trian, who's a men's rights activist. We also have Shashank Shekhar Jha, lawyer of the Supreme Court. And let me begin first and foremost with Barkha Trian. Barkha Trian, I'm not able to wrap my mind about one of the aspects of this judgment. Now, we have experts, they may have, all sorts of concerns, and certainly it's a very shocking judgment. But where the court comes out to say that the appellant convicted under Section 6 of the POSCO Act on the ground that the appellant was a member of the Legislative Assembly will come within the definition at the time when he committed the offence within the ambit of Section 5 of the POSCO Act, and then goes on to say public servant has not been defined in the POSCO Act. What is the court trying to say here? That a member of a legislative assembly is not elected to serve the public. What is this logic? We all know the huge amount of power that netas wield in our system. We know the kind of allegations that the survivor has made, and the court's just going to ignore all of that aside.
I know many more things about the rape survivor. So let me put it like this. Victim deserves justice. Helping victim is our top priority and it cannot be ever ignored. Court's orders which came are ignored. The whole issue has been politicized. Optics pushed. Congress deliberately blurs the line between bail and acquittal, misleading the public to create panic and anger against the judiciary, which should not happen because we have a lot of faith and trust in our judiciary. Again, why selective silence on Congress-era cases? Congress creeps on now, but says silent on rape cases.
Not at all, ma'am. That's not correct, ma'am. N number of cases from Nirbhaya during the Congress regime have been very seriously highlighted. They have been played up by the media. I have reported on such cases, and I can tell you with a fact there is no question. There is no question of.
Why are they parading the survivor here? Why are they doing?
Ma'am, we are not parading the survivor. It's the survivor's free will to do what she wants to do. I'm not going to entertain that argument for a moment. It's the survivor's right to fight for justice. We are nobody to sit in judgment of her. But I will ask Lalita Kumaramangalam the question. Just a second, please. Just hold on. Lalita Kumaramangalam.
Yes.
Is it a fact when you have panelists like Barkha Trian who say that while fighting for the survivor's right and survivors getting justice, there's no talk about what really is the rights of the person who's behind bar, and you have to respect the judgment of the courts? How do you respond to this, Lalita Kumaramangalam?
Look, Madhav, I don't want to be in contempt of court, but the fact remains that it's not just me. There are many, many people like me who are very saddened and quite frankly totally puzzled by this judgment of the court. This is a high court in Delhi, the capital of the country, and everybody looks to Delhi for justice, for equity, for everything. Now, the survivor justifiably is terrified. She was not only raped, she was gang raped. Her father was attacked, he died in judicial custody. Let's not forget that. When their car was rammed by a truck, apparently the truck rammed them more than 10 times, which certainly can't have been mistakenly. So there has been a very planned strategy that was used against her, and she has lost far too much in the whole process to be expected to keep quiet and just accept this judgment of the court, without asking any questions. Now, for somebody like me, it's not just about this victim, but about any woman who's been raped. Once you're raped, your life is gone. That's it. Whatever life you may have had before that, it's done with. You learn to get over it, you learn to cope with it, you move on. All of those are just terms. Deep down, you're always terrified that something like that will happen again. And this man has been proved to be guilty, both in the death of her relatives and her lawyer in that car accident, and in the rape, and to have also supposedly, allegedly, helped in the, helped in the gang rape that she was put through. So, what is puzzling here is, what are the honorable justices trying to say? That the POCSO Act does not cover all these facts, that the POCSO Act needs a relook. If that is it, then perhaps it needs to be said out loud and clear. I have no wish to politicize it, saying BJP, Congress, SP, whatever, all of that is irrelevant. The moment we step into that realm, we forget the real victims of such cases.
Okay.
So this is not about politics. This is just that almost everybody in the country is asking questions. Please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. Nobody interrupted you. Please don't interrupt. You have your opinion, that's fine. Let me say what I feel.
You're right.
A lot of people across all, sections, parties, journalists, everybody else, we are not questioning the judgment. We are utterly puzzled by what is the reasoning behind this. The court may have explained it very judicially, in judicial terms, but in real terms, what is the
and I think that's the point. The spirit of the judgment. And let me bring in other panelists also. Shashank Shekhar Jha, you're a lawyer. Lalita Kumar, I'm taking your point forward. Please let others come in now. Shashank Shekhar Jha, you're a lawyer. Now, just because the definition of public servant is not given in a particular statute, do we not have common sense to imagine what a public servant is? Are we going to go so deep into the law that we're going to find the definition of everything and everything law. We don't have other precedents to go by. And it's just common sense. It is a fact that people in positions of power do enjoy this kind of status in society so as to bully, so as to intimidate, so as to commit crime. And we all know that there is a patriarchal feudalistic mindset that exists in parts of this country. And unfortunately, in this case, that's what's happened, where the victim has not just been sexually assaulted, her family members have been allegedly killed by the same person. How do you expect the victim to survive? The victim says she's cowering in fear. Her life is under threat. All this has been ignored by the court, it appears.
Namaste Madhavji and my fellow panelists here. Madhavji, my full sympathy with the victim. However, I have gone through the entire order of the day. It is a 53-page judgment in which Honorable High Court of Delhi has granted bail. And it has considered few of the aspects. For example, is the victim having proper security? So it has clarified that CRPF will keep giving security to the victim. Now, second part is that the trial has been taken away from Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. Now, for the safety and security of the victim. The third aspect is the appellant who was an MLA earlier. He has been behind jail for past over 7.5 years. So that thing also need to be considered, because this justice system which we follow in this country is not only for the victim but also for the accused.
My dear friend, he was convicted and he was sentenced to a life term. That has been watered down.
Is going on.
Life term to 7 years. There's a world of difference between the two. Let's not even begin to compare the two.
Yes, yes.
Kashmira Singh judgment has been relied upon in this case, where it has been said that the safety and security of the victim is paramount, and which has been taken care of. However, you cannot put...
Well, it's a very strange way of taking care of the security of the victim if there is somebody who's accused of intimidating and killing a family member in judicial custody. How often does that happen in a case? Let me bring in Ranjana Kumari on this. Ranjana Kumari, this is absolutely shocking. Whatever is the legal precedent or judgment that has been relied upon, if the courts have, ensured security, as one of our panelists have said it, it's a very strange way of ensuring security, where you're commuting a life sentence to 7 years.
I would consider this to be a shameful day in our justice delivery system, because whatever lawyers may be arguing about this judgment, the fact is that he is a pedophile, he is rapist and murderer. And in fact, there is another case of murder of the father of the victim, and he is serving for 10 years. And I don't think bail is allowed there. So I don't know whether he'll be out of the jail or not. But certainly the judgment has shocked us all, because for 3 reasons. One, of course, that, talking about POCSO and then revisiting POCSO and saying that, and second, the definition of public servant, people's representative who are voted to power. I mean, who else is a public servant? Is it just the bureaucrats who are public servant? Because by definition they are public servant, or the people's representatives who are sitting there, who wield all the power, who are the ones who exercise power even over the bureaucrats. So how is this definition, and what kind of definition they have come up with public servant? This is just a flimsy excuse. This is just something. And then also to say that 7.5 years in jail, he has been, mind you, given life imprisonment. Why did you hang Nirbhaya's victim then? Perpetrators of crime, when Nirbhaya's case, why those people were hanged? It's in fact minor being raped, father being killed, and the accident where they were involved. Where is the security of this girl? Whoever ensured the security of this girl? Do you know that there has been, and all the lawyer who was arguing the case talked about how difficult life has become since this rape for this girl. What kind of, it's very easy to sit down and argue all kinds of legal loopholes or legal strength of a case. But what is happening to the victim? How are you ensuring she will be really safe when her father, she herself was met with an accident, broke every bone of her body? What kind of a safety is this? Did she not also meet with an accident? So what kind of a safety and security for such criminal who can not only influence at that time the RO who was investigating the case? We have gone through every step of this case, discussing it, visiting it and also going through the whole detail as people who are involved with justice delivery for the rape victims. So I think this is just a nonsense. This is
that's the most shocking part. Ranjana Kumari, the one thing that really I'm not able to wrap my mind over, the court's judgment apart, there was so much national hue and cry. There was so much outcry about this entire case. It's not just a case that was restricted to Uttar Pradesh. It had grabbed the national imagination. Despite all that outrage, despite the case being shifted out from one state to another. And Raman Malik answered this. The court says the argument of keeping the appellate in custody because of threat perception to victim survivor in opinion of this court is not a tenable argument to deny the benefit of section 389 CRPC to the appellant. However, what is the effect of this order? The victim says that my life is under threat. She doesn't know when she's going to be attacked again. What is going on? And mere technicality that public servant is not defined, there's an entire Representation of People Act. All that is forgotten by courts, by those responsible.
Madhav, can I start speaking now? And I hope I would not be interrupted. Let's put certain facts on the ground. The fact is that the conviction is not overturned. That the fact is that Delhi High Court order is interim. That the fact is the appeal is pending. That the fact is still the bail is with strict conditions. That 5 kilometers restriction is there. Then the victim protection is ordered by the court, and not just victim protection, it has to be supervised by a DCP and the Delhi Commission for Women. And then the court acknowledges the gravity. But
Mr. Raman Malik,
legal
5 kilometers, seriously?
Now,
5 kilometers?
Madhav, please.
No, I'm answering. You have to take counter questions.
I am folding my hand, Madhav.
No, one second. Please take the counter question. Please take the counter question.
Every bit that is spoken.
No, please. I know what you are stating.
Let me finish.
What you are stating is from the order.
Let me finish.
What you are stating is from the order, but please answer my simple question to you. 5 kilometers radius. Are you telling me the MLA supporters cannot go within the 5 kilometer radius?
You're one of your panelists. Madhav, listen to me. Please, no, I am not listening.
The father has been killed in judicial custody. The father was killed in judicial custody, Mr. Malik. What is this 5 kilometer radius going to do?
In the Rohtak rape case, Madhav, listen to me. In the Rohtak rape case, on your channel, the same panelists said so many things, and later on, the rape case came out to be a false accusation. Now, whole point is, I am not saying that the victim is wrong. All that I'm saying is, the court is going as per law inscribed. Now, you have a problem with that. You're going to become the same people who ask for impeachment of a justice just because that particular justice went against their whims and fancies. TRP does not make the judicial playground. TRP is for television.
I'm very sorry. If you think this is about TRP and not about social justice or the rights of women, Mr. Raman Malik, that's an extremely insensitive comment to make. I would advise you to think and caution you to think very carefully before speaking. If you think that we are doing this for TRP and not for women's safety, and let me tell you, this has been an issue that has been taken up in the past as well. In the case of Mr. Sengar, a person who was walking freely, a person who was an MLA, and against whom the allegation is that the system was colluding to help. That's the unfortunate part. And I want to bring in Ranjana Kumari. Ranjana Kumari, this is for TRP.
The person is in the jail.
I mean, this is a laughable argument that we are doing this for TRPs apparently.
Yes, no, so I think he is talking, I think Raman Malik is talking off his head. He's just trying to take a position and blaming the media for bringing the issue up front, confronting this judgment in terms of people's opinion. What media is doing is to at least air our opinion how we are feeling today. And how it's going to impact the society. Raman Malik ji, whatever you are trying to defend something which is not defendable. Because today it's not only about the
I am not defending anything.
You are talking about
Raman Malik, two wrongs do not make a right. Even if there is something wrong that has happened. One second, just let me come in now. Raman Malik, no, one second. Raman Malik, you can't go on. Even if assuming Even if assuming, I'm not conceding to the argument, but even if we assume there was something wrong in the Rohtak rape case, that does not mean that injustice has not happened in this case. So let's not confuse the two. A person like him out on bail, a person who has a track record of not just influencing but allegedly killing witnesses. That is the reason this is a very serious case, Raman Malik. So let's not confuse the two, please. Let us not even go there.
इस देश का कानून संविधान के हिसाब से चलेगा, न्यायपालिका के हिसाब से चलेगा, मेरे और आपके हिसाब से नहीं चल सकता. It will not work according to our wishes. It will only work as per the law.
Raman Malik, answer my question. Is Kuldeep Sengar a public servant or not?
जरूरत नहीं है.
Raman Malik, is he a public servant or not?
है कि हम पूछे.
One second, Lalita Kumar Mangalam. Raman Malik, is he a public servant or not?
As per Delhi High Court, he is not a public servant.
As per Delhi High Court, as per you, is he or not?
As per Delhi High Court, he is
what
not
is he as per
a
you?
public servant.
Your own opinion. You have a citizen. You have your own opinion.
From my
is he a public servant or not?
Anymore. He is not an MLA.
But he has been. But when he was MLA, and he committed the crime, was he a public servant or not?
The very fact that your channel made 3.5 hours of footage go away. Sukanya Kumari Times Now took away 3.5 hours of
what nonsense are you talking?
Footage.
What absolute nonsense are you talking? You answer in the no, don't try and divert attention. I will not let you do this. You tell us whether in the case when this person committed the crime, he was a representative of the people and a public servant or not. Answer the question, Raman Malik.
3.5 hours of shoot that
there is no point. You know, Raman Malik, you know, this whataboutery is not going to work. Nobody is going to be fooled by a whataboutery today. From one point of time, Rohtak, then some other case, you can go around jumping around, and I can tell you, people are sick of this argument that Netas come up with. People are sick of it. Nobody wants to hear this whataboutery. People want to know and talk about those who want to take responsibility. Those who want to take responsibility and can talk reasonably in a case like this. And let me bring in Ashwini Mishra. Ashwini Mishra, you are being accused by some of the panelists here of politicizing this case. The very first panel, Barkha Trian, said Congress is jumping in to politicize this case unnecessarily. Why the politics?
Madhav, in any criminal case, the case is always against the accused versus state. And in this case, the state is the government, which is led by Bharatiya Janata Party. State is supposed to protect the victim and not help the accused. Here, state is colluding with the accused, and that is where the whole politics is coming in. State has not protected the victim's right. State has not met the victim, and it is the leader of opposition who's meeting the victim and ensuring that safety of the victim is done. Now, coming back to the fundamental question about the judgment of the court, it is quite shocking, but I think court can take a decision based on the argument presented to them by the state, because the state is the one who's representing the victim. So the argument presented by the state is what court will take an action upon. We have seen now ample cases where accused are kept in jail for years without even a trial, and here a convicted person is granted a bail. I think more than Kuldeep Singh Sengar, it is the government who is protecting him is responsible for this bail. I'm also questioning the judgment of the court. I'm not contempting the court, but that the question will always come, and it is the responsibility of judiciary to see clearly rather than just getting fooled by the argument presented by the current government to protect a criminal. So it is, if someone calls it politicizing it, I am okay with that. I am here to help. We are here to work for the
Respond
people.
to that, Barkha Trian. If you call it politicization, we call it helping the victim. Respond to that.
Yes, the courts work on evidences, not emotions. What he is trying to tell us, they are only the people who are politicizing the whole issue. They are doing the photo ops. They are doing the parading with the victim. What is the need of this? We have total trust, full faith in the judiciary, and the man Kuldeep Singar has not been acquitted. The case will continue.
As you rightly said, worked on evidence. Who will provide the evidence? Evidence will be given by the government. If government give the wrong evidence, where will victim go?
Please let me speak.
No,
now let me
you are not making sense, because evidence are provided by the state, which is the BJP government.
Well, you know, the problem here, let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. It's not like the CBI said he should get bail. Let's be very clear about what's happened in court. So the politics of it from the larger sense, and I want to bring in Lalita Kumar Mangalam on this. Lalita Kumar Mangalam, Is the state to be held accountable? Is the judiciary to be held accountable? Because of prosecution, the Congress has a fair point and comes under the aegis of the state. But in this case, the CBI is not somebody who said, let him walk free.
Madhav. No, Madhav, this wretched fellow Sengar has already been convicted. He hasn't been given jail. For some strange reason, the court has picked up on what they are calling is a gap in the law. He is not a public servant, etc., etc. The case is not dismissed, nor is his bail being approved or anything like that. Sorry. He is still in custody, he is still in jail. But for some strange reason, there seems to be a shift in the opinion about a man who's basically one of the most worst types of criminals I have heard of. First, he rapes a minor, then he is supposed to have got her father killed in police custody. It's a very nasty case. And unfortunately, emotions are running high in the public. Can you blame us for getting agitated, for quaking these questions? Sometimes emotions have to be shown. It can't, yes, I agree the court doesn't run on emotions, it runs on facts. Facts have already been presented. For somebody to politicize this and say that the BJP is trying to save this man, if the BJP had tried to save him, he wouldn't be in jail at all. So that politicizing doesn't help the victim either. It should not be about BJP versus Congress versus some other party, whatever. What we are trying to do, people like Ranjana and me, is to say, we are trying to make sense of this, this judgment or the opinion the court has given.
All right.
We are not able to understand why a man who's obviously a culprit is being given this, how do you say, this long...
Well, all we can say is an absolute shocker, Lalita Kumaramangalam. We'll have to leave it there. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Ranjana Kumari, Ashwini Kaur Mishra, Raman Malik, Barkat Rayan and Shashank Shekhar Jha for joining us. And we certainly hope that the unfortunate precedent, if any ladies, in this manner suffers unfortunately from this kind of a sexual assault, will she really want to come out and complain? Because this is the kind of precedent and this is the action that the law is taking. What is the precedent that it sets? What is the message that is sending out in society? After many years of struggles, after we've seen Nirbhaya like brutal cases and assaults happen in this country, is this really what we expect as a judicial precedent? We'll just leave you there with that thought. Thanks so much for joining us.